Hi everyone, I'm Greg, Bioinformatter on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Moxfield. Um, Bioinformatter B101 Bio for short. There's an extra O in it there. Um, yeah, so you'll find me on Twitch, hyping up, on Twitter, hyping up my friends that stream on Twitch primarily, sometimes YouTube and sometimes podcasts. And I do box breaks on YouTube for myself. And pretty much it's just a straightforward, just, you know, cracking the packs and looking for the good stuff. And it's like one take going through. So like I don't have time for editing and doing fancy things. But I figure I'm here alone, cracking the packs. I'll record them in case anybody gives a care. Yeah, so I'm recording it for posterity, and a couple of you will look at it, and that's cool, and I appreciate it. I appreciate anyone who bothers to watch. So yeah, Dominaria Remastered has released, or at least I got them shipped to me, and I've been cracking the packs. I've been doing draft boxes and collector boxes. The drafts have been a little more on the iffy side, in terms of value, you know, to cost of the box. The I've managed to hit three, one awesome, yeah, they're all good, and but one of them was like astounding, and then the other one was, just a little bit off from that. The third one, it was still good. I mean, I can't complain about that one. With the draft boxes, not so much. Like the first one seemed okay. The second one was a bomb. The third one was maybe close to okay. Um, Now we'll try the fourth one. So like I have one more of these left. Um, if this one's also more towards the bomb side, I may just save the other um, draft box. As a matter of fact, I should double check. Here's the other draft box, and that seems okay. So I will consider just keeping that. Um, unless my luck rebounds here and I really can't resist. Because I do have another collector box. So that one I'm not saving. I'm having too much fun with the collector boxes. Um, they've been much less disappointing than other recent collector boxes. So like, like the Dominaria United, um, yeah, I think that the value was too concentrated in a couple of top cards, and really what you were getting in a collector, at least I just got the crap into the spectrum on what distribution there was of good stuff in the boxes. Um, so anyhow, without further ado, I'm going to go into this box. Now, since if those of you watched the first of these box breaks, for Dominaria Remastered drafts, I like really went over, like, I called out all the cards as I was pulling them. But since that exercise was done, I now kind of skip over the commons pretty quickly. I try to still show them, but they're fairly quickly, and if you want to like freeze frame to look at things, you can. But I'm trying to keep these short because I appreciate your time. Um, and it still won't be short. Here's the Dominaria Remastered draft archetypes if you actually play draft. Blink, Madness, Goblins and Zombies, Cycling, Threshold, Life Gain Loss, Storm, Recursion, Auras, and Ramp. I have never actually done draft or 60 card formats or any of that jazz. I was introduced to Magic through my brother-in-law, and I mean, I was aware of it, and I'm a nerd and I collect all kinds of stuff. But Magic was one of the things that I hadn't gotten into, and my brother-in-law was into it big. So after buying him some stuff for as gifts for a while, I ended up deciding, heck, I will try and get into it with a new set, which was Kaldheim. That was when I started buying, and I really started playing with Witherbloom, with Strixhaven, is when I was really playing more. And so I started playing Commander 1v1 with my brother-in-law. And eventually, that by watching streams and interacting in chat, and through introductions from my brother-in-law, I got to get on some streams like Queen of Cardboard and You're Dead Next Turn. And thus I started playing and getting entrenched into the community. Okay, so enough about me. Let's look at the cards. Okay. We'll go through the comments quickly. Okay, so we have a Dedapult, a Rada Heir to Keld, Flesh Reaver, Triskelion as borderless. So you can get non-foil borderless cards in the draft packs. We have a counterspell. So we have the retro foil, retro version, retro border card slot. This happened to have a foil in it, so just a common. We have our retro border lands. They'll not be foil in here. They will be foil in collector boxes. And we have tokens. Commons. Flashing before your eyes. Flame Tongue Kavu. Improvised Armor. And Milliken are the uncommons. We have a retro border Lotus Bloom. Which is a rare. So they don't let you get those between the retro slot and the rare slot. If your rare is a retro, you no longer get a retro in the retro slot. They just throw in a common in that slot. And there's a mountain and a construct. Okay. Commons. Okay. Voice of All. Gerard's Verdict. And Wall of Junk. Exploration. As the rare. We have Tiana, Ship's Caretaker, as our retro. We have a Plains. And we have an Insect token. And with our token parade terminated, here we have a Call of the Herd, a Circular Logic, and a Damping Sphere. Ooh, and we have a Vampiric Tutor, which is not too shabby. We have a Goblin Matron as our retro slot, but you are allowed to have a retro foil in the foil slot, so you can get 2 retro cards in here if you happen to get one that's a foil. This is only a common, so you know, Renewed Faith. Aren't they pretty? Those retro foils. A Swamp and a Goblin. So at least we have a Vampiric Tutor. And just the vanilla Vampiric Tutor there is going for 33.33. So that's a decent start. Okay, I've got some commons to wade through. And there's a Sawtooth Loon, Undead Gladiator, Gamekeeper, Wrath of God as our rare. We have a Peregrine Drake as our retro. We have an Island and a Saproling. Cackling Fiend, Wild Growth. So these are all they're probably things you've seen or heard of before at the common slots. Nantuko Monastery is uncommon, as is Faceless Butcher. And there we go, Life and Death. Ooh, we have, this is pretty. A World Gorger Dragon, borderless. That's pretty sweet. I like that. There's a Necro Savant, a Forest, and a Squirrel. And I just want to check on the World Gorger. I did pull the retro frame foil, so that's 21.85. Okay, the borderless here is only 7.27, but I mean that's just pretty. But the foil version of that would be 20 something. Yeah, so I would like to get that in my collector box. That's where you can get the foil versions of the borderless cards. Sarah Angel, Recoil, Daragaz's Caldera. And here's a case where we have a rare that's a retro, Arcanus the Omnipotent, which means we've got a common and a Skirk Prospector. This one does have a foil. It's only a common, Cloud of Fairies, but that's actually, that's like extra. That's a foil. Mountain, Elephant. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes the foils are more subtle, and some, wow. Okay. We will speed through. Common land. Turnabout. Icy Manipulator. Night and Day. Okay. Pashalik Mons is our rare. Empty the Warrens is our retro, and then we have a Plains and a Goblin. And March. Okay. Dralnew's Crusade. Dragon Whelp, that's pretty cute. Street Wraith, not so cute. Oh, we have a Yawgmoth. So I got one of these in the collector's box as well. Don't have the foil though. Chainer's Edict is our retro. Oh, and there's Dragon Whelp in foil. It's nice. A swamp and an elemental. Okay. And the Wave of Seas has crashed. We get Dark Withering, Rith's Grove, Ovinomancer, Arborea, Wild Growth is our retro, and there's a Forest, and a Goblin. Okay, we're almost done with the first stack. Yeah. It's not like all these commons are useless or something. Some of them are cool. Croesus's Catacombs, Slice and Dice, Terravore. That's our uncommons. Okay, so we pulled a rare crawl space in the retro. So here's our common. We have an island, and we have a bird. And the final pack of the first stack. Okay. I can already tell that it looks like there's a borderless card in here somewhere. We'll see if it's a really cool one. Okay, our commons are gone. Assault and Battery. Storm Entity. And Mishra's Factory. And it is a cool one. We have Urza, Lord High Artificer in Borderless. You can't get it in the foil in here, so that's the best you're going to do. Street Wraith. We have a Krosan Restorer as a foil. We have a Forest. And we have a Sheep token. And I am actually going to look up Urza. because I just want to see 42. 42 for the borderless. So between that and the vampiric tutor, and there, yeah, there was one of those in here, and Yawgmoth. I think we're off to a better start here. We already got some heat. That just looks vicious. And this, when you get it in foil, the sparks are really cool. Don't know the giant spider needed a reprint. Valduk, Keeper of the Flame. Tormod's Crypt. Tiana, Ship's Caretaker. We have Wrath of God as our rare. And then we have a Tormod's Crypt again, but this time in the retro. And a Swamp. And a Construct. Okay. Mindstone. Dread Return. Dragon Blood. Gem Palm Incinerator. Siege Gang Commander is the rare. Momentary Blink is our retro. Polluted Mire happened to be a foil, so it's another one that really is shiny. An island and an insect. Impulse. Common. It's flying. Phyrexian Scuta. Tatyova Benthic Druid. Squirrel Nest. Cover the uncommons. Then we have Saproling Symbiosis, which is a rare and a retro. Which means we have our common, which is that Spark Spray. We have a mountain, and we have an elephant. Okay. Mesa Enchantress. Elvish Spirit Guide. Flame Tongue Kavu in Borderless. So that's actually kind of a cool one. We have Clifftop Retreat as our rare. And we have Mystic Enforcer as our retro. We have a Plains. And we have a Goblin. Yes, I got sick of seeing Jalum Tome blueprint versions in Bro in Brothers War. They were showing up a lot. when I was opening packs. So it's like no moss. Congregate. Wax and Wane. Mystic Enforcer. Zira Aryan. Duress. Daragaz's Caldara in foil. Mountain. Oh, this is uncommon. And a zombie. Okay. And thus endeth the commons. Griffin Guide. Necro Savant. And Illusion and Reality. Rith the Awakener is our rare retro, so there's our common. And we have a plains. On to Sapperling. Okay. Ta-da. Dromar's Cavern. Quicksilver Dagger. And Fact or Fiction. Then we have a Worldly Tutor as our rare. Wild Dogs as the retro. Island. And a Griffin. Oops. Jumping into the uncommons, we have a Thran Golem, a Fire Blast, and a High Tide. We got ourselves an Isolated Chapel as our rare, Renewed Faith as our retro. We do have a common foil, a Festering Goblin. An island, and an ad card. Sir. Okay. Pain and Suffering. Aven Fate Shaper. Deadwood Treefolk. Arcades is our rare. Fact or Fiction is our retro. And we have a Forest. Squirrel. The commons never end. Battle Screech. Treva's Ruins. Dodecapod. Isolated Chapel is our rare retro. So we have a common Juggernaut, But we do have an Overmaster rare retro foil. So this one I've never looked up yet. The next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn can't be countered. Draw a card. We have a mountain and a goblin. So the Overmaster retro foil is 866. So it's decent, just not spectacular. Okay. Order in Chaos. Spectral Links. Spite and Malice. Hunting Grounds is our mythic. White Mane Lion is just a common. Forest and an ad card. Okay. Fire and Ice. Crop Rotation. Floodgate. Royal Assassin is worthless. Juggernaut is our retro, a swamp, and a cat. Yeah, so this is as bad as seeing a Tall Rend and a Double Masters pack. um, okay, we're going through comments. Gerard's Verdict. Wall of Junk. Sawtooth Loon. Shivan Dragon is our rare, so a historic magic card, but I think it's not worth much at all. Sawtooth Loon is our retro. You have a forest and a cat. Okay. So Nantuko Monastery is uncommon, as is Damping Sphere and Faceless Butcher. We've got a Borderless Jester's Cap as the rare, and Ovid Eyes as the retro, a swamp, squirrel. Undead Gladiator, Recoil, and Sarah Angel. Lieutenant Kurtar is a rare retro. So we got a common, and a forest, and a goblin. And we're almost there. There we go. Life and Death. Turnabout. Icy Manipulator. Arcanus the Omnipotent. That's our rare. And we have a Savannah Lions. As our retro. And we have Gerard's Verdict as a retro foil. So it's our uncommon retro foil. I think I may be misremembering, but as far as I can tell in these boxes, in these draft boxes, you might get like three retro foils, and like one's going to be common, and one's going to be uncommon, and one's going to be rare or mythic. I think it probably doesn't. It's probably not an exact science, and it may vary a little bit, but that should be some expectations. Almost there. Okay, there we go. So, Gamekeeper, Croesus's Catacombs, and Dragon Whelp. We do have a beautiful Maze of Ith borderless. I think that's pretty awesome. I have the foil version of this from a collector's, I think. But still, I like the art on that. We have a Mishra's Factory as our retro. Then we have an island and an elemental token. Night and Day. Dark Withering. And Rith's Grove are uncommons. We have a Pyre Zombie as our rare. We have a beautiful Impulse as our common retro. A Swamp. And an Elephant. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 draft packs to go. Once again. Draw News. Crusade. Daragaz's Caldera. And Slice and Dice. And we have a Dark Depths Mythic in the retro. Wild Growth in the common. We do have a foil common, Deep Analysis, Plains, and a Goblin. Okay. Ovino, Ovinomancer, Assault and Battery, and Storm Entity. Jester's Cap is our rare. Lull is our retro. Plains and Cat. Okay. Terravore, Zombie Infestation, Spirit Monger, Chainer Dementia Master. These are rare. We have Terror as our retro, a forest, and a sheep. So 3 packs. Is there anything major left in these 3 packs? Mishra's Factory, Confiscate, Invigorating Boon, Zura the Enchanter, that's the rare. Turnabout is our retro. We do have a Body Snatcher foil, a Swamp, and a Cat. Chainer's Edict, Thieving Magpie, and Swords to Plowshares. And here is Stroke of Genius as a retro. Common, Phyrexian Ranger, we have a Forest, and a Bird token. So now we are on the final pack. Drum roll, please. Okay. So we have Stand and Deliver, Lightning Rift, Nature's Lore, Mystic Remora. So that's nice. And then we have Spirit Link, Island, and a bird. So, I think this was a reasonable box here. I've kind of got my system to how stack the cards with kind of like separators. Okay. It's commons, tokens, uncommons, lands. Okay, let's see if we can identify the heat that's in here. I don't think this is much, but I still want to see what the frame does for it. Dark Depths, I believe, still has some weight to it. We already did the Overmaster. It's enough to be considered. I should look up sapling symbiosis just because. And I've looked up crawl space before. I think it may not be that big, but maybe it's enough to still be considered. I should also look up Arcanus. I doubt it, but Faith, Tiana, Lotus Blossom for the heck of it. But we have a Mystic Remora. I want to look up the Body Snatcher as well. I think the Zur and a regular Chainer and a regular Jesters are probably not. Pyre Zombie, I don't think. Mesa Myth might count. I forget the lower end of Hunting Grounds. May not matter. Worldly Tutor. But the Urza and the Yogg. I love that dragon. And the Vampiric Tutor. Isolation. Doubt Triskelion is worth much, but I still want to see what the borderless is worth. Okay. So, I mean, this are probably the biggest. So I think first off, shut these off to the side a bit. And maybe Dark Depths. And okay. Mystic Remora. Overmaster. Crawl space. Yes, this is a lot of silence. I apologize. Kind of get caught up in it. Okay, so this is almost all visible here. I will have to sharpen the focus now that we're looking at them at this level. Okay. And I will look up some stuff. But meanwhile, I think I shall um, take a screenshot. Okay. Yeah. So cheese. I took a screenshot. Um, so we already looked up the Urza. So the Urza borderless is 42. So we got 42. Um, 42 plus 33, 75. So say 75 for those two. And then we have the Yogg. The Yogg is 2092. So say 95. Dark Depths Retro is 11, 12. So 97. I mean, 107. Mazavith Borderless is 622. So 113. Plus 8. 21. Plus another 728. Yeah, so you get the idea. I think it may be short of paying for the box, but I think compared to some of the other draft boxes I had, this is reasonably solid. I mean, I got 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this top tier stuff is all great, and the other stuff is interesting, and we could nickel and dime, and there's stuff that I missed. So it's not all doom and gloom, but I do think it isn't enough to convince me that I should open my other draft box. So I have one more collector box to go. I have to double check my orders and see if anything else is coming. So the stuff that I have now came from 2 different vendors. And so there's another that I normally use for orders, but I don't know if I spread my orders around fully or not. So if I get more boxes, then maybe I'll open some more. But I think I will really resist and keep one of these draft boxes intact. Um, but there is a collector box, so that's next. So I'm Greg, Bioinformatter. Thanks for bearing with me through this, and I hope you saw some cool cards and you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again. Thanks.